Hi, Rody. How are you? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
How are you doing today?
Good. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. Thank you so
Good.
much for agreeing to jump on this interview with me today. I greatly appreciate it.
Thank
Um,
you for having me.
Yeah, of course, of course. And just so you don't feel like you're talking to a complete stranger, I want to first just kick it off by giving you a little bit of information about myself, my magazine, while we're here, and then we'll get into the interview. But I'm LaWanda Morris. I'm the owner and editor-in-chief of a new luxury lifestyle magazine called Black Audacity Magazine. And we go direct mail to right now a little over 80,000. We're print and we're also digital. We know how
Okay.
important that is in today's world, right?
Hmm.
And so we're currently working on and finishing up. So you're my last interview.
Awesome. Awesome.
Yeah, we're finishing up our June Gents issue. And so for this issue, we have a theme every month. And for this issue, we're picking some really awesome guys to talk to from all walks of life, from professionals
Hmm.
like yourself to business owners, entrepreneurs, leaders in the community, the whole nine. And so we wanted to talk to you, to include you amongst all these fabulous men who are just doing their thing in the world right now. And so we're so thankful to include you amongst the guys that we interviewed for this issue. So thank you again. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Awesome. My pleasure.
Absolutely. So my first question for you is, what should I call you? Do you go by Rody, your last name, or
Uh, yeah, just David.
yeah,
David would be fine. Yep.
okay. All right.
Hmm.
But did you have any nicknames growing up at all, David?
Yeah. 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 A lot of people use my last name first, Roddy. It
Rowdy.
was
Okay.
a Yeah, it was just kind of easier to say, especially just coaches and people older than me would just kind of know me by my last name. Growing up in the city, I had older brothers as well, so um, and we all pretty much looked pretty similar. So it was easy to pick us out of a crowd. So yeah, usually Roddy or D Rod, those are the only two people really use, or just David as well. I'm fine with any of those.
Okay. All right. Well, I can relate to that growing up with multiple siblings. I am
Mhm.
one of five. So it's five
Okay,
girls, so
nice.
no brothers, all females.
Yep.
But so tell me more about your growing up, your childhood, your family dynamic.
Hmm.
You're starting off with your parents, and then tell me more about your siblings. How did that family dynamic play out?
Yeah. We're a tight-knit family. Growing up, I was also the youngest of five boys. So for us, it was a very competitive household growing up. Everyone was involved in sports. My parents were, football player and a long distance runner, and pretty much just always were busy. And we always kind of spoke our love language through sports most of the time. And so, again, it was a great upbringing of competing against my older brother all the time. He was the basketball kid, so I just kind of followed in his footsteps and really wanted to compete with him, even though I was 6 years younger. So that was an uphill battle, but it motivated me to get better all the time, and really just seeing them just grow up and achieve, whatever they wanted to. It really helped me just wanting to, just stay inspired and stay motivated into chasing my dreams. And so I definitely learned a lot from, coming from that household.
Mhm.
And we're still close to this day. So it's just been an amazing experience.
That's awesome. That's wonderful. And keeping along those lines, growing up playing, wanting to compete against your brother, was it always going to be basketball? I know you played some football, you ran some track growing up, but was it
Mhm.
always professionally going to be basketball for you?
I really didn't know. It was either basketball or football. Those were my two loves. Track came along later in high school, and I really enjoyed that. But again, the dream was always either the NBA or the NFL. It was just kind of a matter of which sport to choose. I think that was a big decision, and I'm glad I got to basketball, and I'm glad I'm here. It's just super privileged to achieve my dream and be on a great organizations like the Memphis Grizzlies.
Awesome. When you made that decision to declare for the 2022 draft, what all went into that decision making, and the date of, like, how did you feel going into it and coming through the other side of it?
Yeah. It took a lot of prayer and meditation, really. It took a lot of faith. That didn't help the pre-draft process was a unique process for me. I went to the combine, I did, a bunch of workouts and everything, and it still wasn't really clear cut on where I would end up. And so I really had to take a leap of faith. I think that was the biggest thing, having great counsel from my agent and great counsel from, my coaches as well. And kind of making the decision for myself was the biggest thing, because you don't want to make the wrong decision, and so you kind of paralyzed with fear of the unknown. So I took a step of faith and decided to stay in and trust myself and bet on myself. And yeah, just got a huge surprise. I jumped pretty early in the draft, and now I'm at a great organization. So I'm just super super blessed to be here, and it definitely was a very stressful time. But again, it's something that you'll remember for the rest of your life.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I love that. You just took a leap of faith and bet it on
Mhm.
yourself, right?
Yeah.
Um, but in terms of mentors and idols growing up, do you have any basketball mentors either then or now, or
Mhm.
idols that you looked up to and kind of model your game after, or really enjoy watching them play the sport?
Yeah. I had some great mentors, growing up, and people who are still involved with my life that I wouldn't be here without. I think my first mentor would be my high school coach, Coach Brad Barber. He was a AAU coach at the time when I was in fifth grade, and I tried out for his team, and he was pretty much the first coach to really yell at me and be vocal. And after spending about 2 weekends with him, I was like, yeah, I need to stay with him, for a while. At a young age, he taught me how to compete and really just trust the process. And luckily, he came into the high school that I was going to, so I got to learn a lot from him. And again, like Ramad Bowman, who went to Northwestern for football, he was in high school with me, and so he kind of took me under his wing. As a senior, I was an incoming freshman, and kind of pointed me towards around the school and showing me the ropes, and then also how to become a better leader and how to become a better person. So I've just been really blessed with just many many more mentors and coaches that were truly invested in me and wanted what was best for me too.
Awesome. Yeah, mentors are so important. Do you have any youth that you mentor now, or do you plan to, later on in your career?
Yeah, I try to mentor as many people as I can. It's not anything that's really official. It'll definitely grow as I get older. But I try to give as much advice as I can, just to talk about my journey and try to help out a future athlete or a future student that I can share some of my experiences with it. But I don't have anyone at the moment. But if anyone asks or needs advice, I'll try to do my best to help them along their journey as well. But definitely down the line, I want to develop some programs and certain things that I can do consistently to impact the youth.
Awesome. Wonderful. Um, and in terms of, how you perform on the court, what are some ways that you deal with the mental pressures, the stressors of having to perform on the court in such a long season? How do you stay, focused and deal with the pressures of the game?
Yeah, that's a great question. I would say really just trying to have a professional mindset. I think that's the biggest thing that a rookie can have, or a young player that can have, is that understanding that if you're not playing much, or you start off the your career not playing much or not seeing any action, it's not because of anything that you've done wrong. It's just there's guys that are older, there's guys that have been there longer, and just they're trying certain lineups out and everything. So playing time It's something definitely to adjust, but just staying ready and trusting the process, and really enjoying the process because sometimes when you're in the thick of it, you just kind of focus on the now
Mhm.
and not focusing on the future. So kind of having a one foot in and being present, as well as understanding that it's all a part of the journey and a part of the process. I think that's what really helped me um, through my first year, and it'll help me for the rest of my career.
Yeah, I think so too. That's good. That's good advice to give to any people that you might mentor later
Yeah.
on as well. And then some other good advice that I'm sure you can share with them is how do you stay in shape off season? So how do you
Mhm.
maintain every from your weight, your health? How do you
Mhm.
maintain on during off season?
Yeah, I would say, I mean, just again, just staying within the work. Again, the off season should be harder than the season, and that's kind of currently where I'm at right now. I'm training 5, 6 times a week, and it's definitely high intensity, but you're just kind of preparing for that long season, and just trying to improve as much as you can. Eating the right foods, and getting enough sleep and kind of really just taking a look at yourself and what can you improve on, and having a real conversation with yourself before you even start. I think it's very important, and keeping it simple as well. If you have a laundry list of things that you can improve on, just focus on 2 to 3 things and attack those, and then over time, like I said, over the journey, you'll see all the progress that you've made.
Okay, I like that too. And then sticking with off season, do you and bringing your teammates into the picture, do you maintain relationships with your teammates off season? I'm sure you have great, camaraderie and relationships during the season, but what about off season? Do you maintain those relationships then?
Yeah, absolutely. Most of the young guys are still in Memphis and training, in the arena every day. And then the older vets are, out wherever they are, and try to give them a phone call or try to text them and, see what they're doing. Some people are traveling around the world right now, and it's just exciting. But yeah, we definitely try to keep in touch as much as we can, and just hope everyone is just being safe and healthy, and time kind of taking this time to debrief and relax, and then hopefully getting some work in.